Hey everybody, Tony here at Nothing But Car Reviews, and today we're taking a look at a new 2022 Toyota Corolla in the LED trim level, so let's get right into it. So this particular Corolla comes in the beautiful classic silver metallic, and it really does have that classic look to it. It looks really nice and shiny, especially when it's cleaned up. And then the interior consists of a black fabric, so it's going to be your base cloth interior there. And our powertrain consists of a 1.8 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder mated to a continuously variable transmission. But let me pop this trunk. And take a look at that space in there. And we're gonna have LED tail lights. And as we get around to the left side here, I'm gonna pop the gas cap and just let you all see that. So it takes up to E15 gas. And just to really, with this being an LE, I think the L is the lowest trim level you can get, but still you get a lot with this trim level. But down here, for the wheels, we do still have those 16-inch steel wheels with the hubcaps. And then let's go around to the front here. I will say I love the front end. You have this kind of black mesh looking plastic here and up here for your grille. And then of course you have your LED daytime running lights along with your LED headlamps there. And then I'm just gonna pop the hood here so we can look in the engine bay. And there's that 1.8 liter 4-cylinder. And I like how they didn't cover this one up. I like being able to see the engine. But next, let's go ahead and hop in the driver's seat. So here in the Corolla, actually not bad space for someone like myself who's 6'3". I have about an inch of headroom. I can slide my knees underneath the steering wheel, and I really like the overall visibility and how the hood slopes down. So I feel like I can, park really close if I need to, and I don't have to worry about wondering how far I am from hitting something. So I really like that. So over to the door panel here, we have our power window switches, power door locks. We can lock the windows, and then there's a power mirror knob there. And we have a little pocket here, and a cup holder there. And then down here, we can adjust our gauge cluster light. We want to brighten or dim it there. And then we have our automatic high beams as part of our Safety Sense 2.0. And to the steering wheel here, we can go through our gauge cluster using these arrows here. You can kind of see it up there as I'm toggling through everything. And then down here we have our voice recognition controls, and then Bluetooth here, volume controls here. And then over here we have our cruise controls, radar cruise, lane tracing assist, and then we can adjust the gap for our radar cruise control. And this mode button will actually toggle through the radio, and if you have a Bluetooth device or iPod hookup, it'll toggle between that as well. And then of course we can toggle between our radio station favorites or track list here. Headlamp controls behind the steering wheel on the left side, and windshield wiper controls behind the steering wheel on the right side. But next we're going to get a view from the front passenger seat, and I'll show you all that. So up front here we do have two manual seats, which actually are not uncomfortable, and I really like how we have the bolsters here that you can see on the side there, and it really makes you feel like you're not about to slide out of the seat. And we have our owner's manuals here in the glove compartment. And then I like this little kind of digital setup here that shows you when the passenger airbag is off, and it's over here to the side so you can see, and it kind of goes with this side of the vehicle. But into the radio, let me go to the home page first. So this is how it looks like with the audio off. And then I really like this view because I can see what's playing on the radio. If I have my Bluetooth set up, I can see that, and then I can see what kind of fuel mileage I'm getting along with the range. So all the important stuff there. And then of course we have our menu here, so we can toggle between our apps. And then if you have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto set up, but this one doesn't have a map, so it'll tell you that. But here we have AM, FM, XM radio along with Bluetooth audio. And like I said, you get that Apple CarPlay, Android Auto compatibility as well. There's our backup camera there. And down to the AC controls, I'm going to turn it down a little bit. But we have single zone automatic climate, which I really like in a vehicle like this because you're mostly going to be using it for commuting anyway, so it's all about you. So we have our Eco Heat Cool mode if you want to save on fuel that way. Toggle your AC, toggle that auto mode there, and then toggle your fan speed here. And then this button here, if you want it on your feet, defrost, face, whatever you want to do, you can go through that there. And then of course we have our vents here, hazards here. Now let's see if we can get down in here. So we have storage here, but over here, that's where our USB input goes. And I like how they have that kind of hidden away, and you can still, if you have a short enough cord, stick your phone in there and then have that plugged in there. But down here we have our shifter, and behind it, that's our traction control. But to put it into gear, you just pull the button here, reverse, neutral, drive. And then this B mode is actually kind of like an engine braking mode. So if you're going downhill, you could put it into that and it'll kind of keep your revs low, pretty much like a low mode, but it's meant to help you with braking instead of accelerating. And then down here we have our electronic parking brake. You pull up to engage, press down to disengage. Then we have our brake hold, so when we're at a red light, after going, we can take our foot off the brake and the car won't move until we put our foot on the accelerator again. 2 cup holders here. And we have a small center console cubby space with a 12 volt, and I really like they put a USB-C port in here so you can fast charge your iPhones or Android phones, whatever. But finally, we're gonna take a look at the back seat. So from the back seat here in the Corolla, really surprising legroom here. Like I said, I'm 6'3" and I'm able to sit in this seat in front of me, and then I have it adjusted for back here, and my knees are just barely touching the back seat. And this is a small car, so I just can't get over how great that is. If you need to have a bigger person in the back, you can do that. It's not just for your briefcase or whatever. So I also like the Ellie has this center seat fold down, so we can put cup holders here. So we can put a cup here, a cup there, and then when we're not using it, we can just fold that back up. And then finally, we just have a little tray here if you want to put change or your wallet or whatever. If your passenger's riding back here while they're on their phone, you can do that as well. And then finally, let's see if we can get that door panel over there. The sticker might be in the way, but we have a window latch there, and then we can unlock or lock the door from back there as well. And of course we have a little pocket there, and you can put a water bottle in there sideways. So with all that being said, next I think we're going to go ahead and take this Corolla LE out on the road for a quick test drive. So that CVT kind of scared me at the beginning. I'm thinking, why is it not shifting? But I needed quite a bit of power under this naturally aspirated 1.8 to pull out in front of traffic here on this busy road at lunchtime. And it did a pretty good job at getting me up to speed. But as you heard, it didn't necessarily sound good, but hopefully 99% of the time you won't need that much get up. But cruising here at 60 down this 2-lane highway, really quiet, just slight road noise. And I really like the brake pedal feel. You have to put your foot in it, but I don't feel like I'm about to run out of room or that they're soft. They just feel normal for a car this small. And under just normal acceleration, it actually does fairly well getting up to speed. And for those who don't have a heavy foot like myself, this will really be a good option, because you're looking at getting 40 plus miles a gallon and just really, really easy to drive these. And that's why these are one of the few cars that still sell very well out on the road. And I know Ford's gotten rid of basically every vehicle except the Mustang. Chevrolet's trying to follow suit, having very few cars. I think the Malibu might still be being made, and then of course the Camaro. But people are going to small SUVs and big SUVs for the most part. But something like this Corolla, if you need a commuter car and you're able to get 40 miles per gallon, that's why this is such a viable option. Especially with all the safety tech here, with the Toyota Safety Sense 2.0, having that lane tracing assist, having the radar cruise control, the automatic high beams, just good features to have. But coming down this stretch of road here, it's just really, everything in here is quite decent. Even this kind of plastic or vinyl steering wheel feels really nice on my hands, even though it isn't leather. It's very easy to control. The steering goes with this kind of car. It's not sporty, but it's also not flimsy. Now, one thing I have noticed, which isn't really a big issue, is I keep hitting my kind of head over here when I turn with my camera on. So there's just a little bit of a visibility issue there. Not that it would necessarily matter unless something is flying just a little bit above you, but something interesting that I noticed. We'll give it some throttle coming down on the interstate here. So when the vehicle detects the lane lines, these will turn blue instead of just being white, and it'll let you know that it's lane tracing while it's in the radar cruise control mode. But I just love this feature, specifically in the Toyotas and probably Ford as well. Of course, Tesla's is great, but the lane tracing in this really does mimic an autopilot feel. And it's pretty spot on. Wish I could see my MPGs. Okay, there it is. I mean, I'm cruising down the interstate getting, doing 77? And I'm right in the sweet spot between 30 and 40 miles a gallon. And as there's a slight incline, I get closer to 30. And as there's a decline, I get closer to 40, over 40. It's really impressive fuel mileage in these Corollas. But they've been known for that for decades. Now the Corolla is just a really, really solid car, and it has been, like I said, for several decades. But I really like all the technology that's finally being put in these, even in mid-base level like the LE. Having all the safety features and having this screen here, access to Bluetooth and all of that, for what most people will use as a commuter vehicle. And I also like how the eco mode kind of responds to throttle input, and you don't have to necessarily toggle that on and off. But as I end the test drive portion of this video, next we're just gonna take a look at the window sticker and I'll give my final thoughts. So I want to give a huge shout out to John Roberts Toyota here in Manchester, Tennessee, for allowing me to review this vehicle. And you all couldn't necessarily see the key fob here, but there it is there, and then that's how we started, like that. But of course in this market we're gonna have a little bit of markup just because dealers still can't keep vehicles on their lot even with the markup. So I know people are angry about that, but it is what it is. I'm just not buying anything at this moment. But here, let's take a look at that sticker. So those are the options that come on it. And that's our original sticker price there, our MSRP, $22,441. And I mean, this is pretty basic. That's all that's on there. Like I said, a good vehicle. I mean, you're getting EPA 30 city, 38 highway, and as I showed you, we're getting a lot better on the highway than 38. We're getting closer to 40. But over here, that shows that AMV right there. And then that's what you'd be paying here. But this is one of two vehicles that they actually have new on the lot right now. So my thoughts on the Corolla LE, definitely, like I said, a really good vehicle for someone who needs something to commute in, gets good fuel mileage, something that's easy to maintain, and something that has all the features that you would want while commuting. Having your Bluetooth audio, having your radio, having your radar cruise control. So I would definitely recommend a vehicle like this if you're into it. Me personally, I like the Corollas, but I need something bigger. And this checks almost every box. If you are somebody who travels for work and you're alone a lot of the time, this will be a perfect vehicle for you. And those are just my thoughts on it. So I want to thank you all again for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment. If you have any questions or concerns, please leave them in those boxes. So thank you all again, and we'll catch you on the next video.